Hi, my name is Mrs. Overish, and this is Math Mania for 1st and 2nd graders. I'm so happy you're here today. Let's learn something new in math. Today we're going to be talking about solving 1- and 2-step word problems. All you need today is a piece of paper and a pencil. Let's go ahead and get started. First, we have our I can statement. And our I can statement says, I can solve 1- and 2-step addition and subtraction problems. So we're going to be doing exactly that today. Let's break apart the I can statement a little bit just to make it a little bit easier. I have a new fun tool that I'm going to be using today with my board. So I'm going to be working on writing on the board instead of the whiteboard behind me. So we first see that word solve. So I can solve. That basically just means to find an answer to. I've noticed my handwriting doesn't look as neat on these boards as it does on the other, but that's okay. So I can solve or find an answer to 1- and 2-step addition. We know addition is when we're putting something together, and subtraction when we're taking away. And then the problem is going to be where we're looking for some type of solution. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So first, we see an anchor chart here today. I'm going to read through it with you, and it's word problem steps. So when we see a word problem, sometimes it can be really overwhelming or really challenging to really take apart what you should do first. So these are some good reminders to help us as we tackle a word problem together. So when we first start our word problem, we can go through and circle the numbers or other important parts. So we might circle the numbers, we might underline the question, box the keywords, evaluate and draw, so basically to solve, and then we're going to solve and check our problem. So let's do a really quick, easy example here today. So we have the cat had 9 toys. The dog had 5 toys. How many toys do they have in all? So let's first go through and circle those numbers. I see that the cat had 9 and the dog had 5. So we might want to underline our question. I know it's our question because it starts with that word how. They might start with why or what. And it also has a question mark at the end. So I can underline where I see my question. And then next it says to box out those keywords. So I noticed that maybe an important word or important words is in all. This is telling me whether or not I need to add or subtract. And maybe how many. That might also help us with our question. Now let's go ahead and evaluate and draw or solve. So if I have our cat has 9 toys, maybe I just want to draw little circles to help me solve it. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the dog has 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the question is, how many toys do they have in all? So am I going to be adding or subtracting? I'm going to be adding because those words in all mean that we're going to be putting 2 numbers together. So I can just count up my drawing to help me find the answer. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I see that I have 14 toys. Now, that word problem was pretty simple. I just wanted to show you all how we can highlight some of those important pieces to help us break apart the question. Let's do one that's just a little trickier. So here's our question. As you guys can see, it's already just a little bit longer, and maybe our numbers are a little bit bigger than those numbers 5 and 9 from the first one. So here we go. The girl went to the zoo and saw 48 animals. The boy went and saw 23 more animals than the girl. How many animals did they see all together? Let's go back through and highlight some important pieces so we know exactly what we need to do in this problem. So I think the most important thing is when I look and I read, the girl went to the zoo. Is that part really important for us to find the answer? Not really. It helps add to our story, helps us have a mental picture of what we're trying to solve. But if they took that part out, it's not going to change whether or not this is addition or a subtraction problem. So I keep reading and I say, and saw 48 animals. So I know that 48 animals, that's going to be important, right? It's a number. It's identifying a part of our word problem. Then we have the boy went and saw 23 more animals. Okay, well, I'm going to circle this number 23. And then I'm going to underline, I'm going to box out, whatever you want to do. So you remember this part, more animals than the girl. And I'm actually going to even add a part to it. I think I missed a part that I wanted to add. Than the girl, because that part's important. That he saw more animals than the girl. He didn't just see 23 animals. He saw 23 more than the girl. And we know the girl saw 48. I wonder what we're going to do there. How many animals did they see all together? Well, first let's underline that question. So that's our question that's asking us how many animals did they see all together. And then I know that word all together. I see it. It's an important one. And I know that they're telling me I need to add. Now, if I just add together the numbers 48 and 23, am I going to get the right answer? I'm not, because if I just add together 48 and 23, all that number is the number of animals that the boy saw. So we do need to do that as part of our problem, but that's not going to answer the question of how many they saw all together. So what they want us to do is we need to find out first how many animals the boy saw. Then we can take what the animals the boy saw and the animals that the girl saw and put those two together to get the answer to the question. All right, let's get started. So first, I'm going to take 48, which is how many animals the girl saw, plus 23. I'm adding these two numbers together because we know that the boy saw 23 more animals than the girl. All right, I'm going to use my expanded form method for this one. So I break apart the number 48 to 40 plus 8, and I break apart 23 to 20 plus 3. Now I can take it. I see that 8 plus 3 is 11. 40 plus 20 is 60. And I want to break apart that number 11 one more time to help me find this answer. So I still have that number 60. Let's put the number 11 in expanded form. Does anyone remember how we put the number 11 in expanded form? Here we're going to take 10 plus 1, because there's a 1 in the tens place and a 1 in the ones place. This way we now can take 60 plus 10, which is 70, and squish that 1 into the ones place, and we have 71. So what is this number 71? This number 71 is how many animals that the boy saw. So right here, we now have a part of the problem that we need to be able to find the answer. So what number am I going to add to 71 to get this answer to the question of how many animals did they see all together? I'm going to take 71 plus 48. The question already told us that the girl saw 48 animals. So we already know that part. So I'm going to take 48 plus 71 to get our answer. I'm going to clear off the board. And I'm now going to take 71 plus 48. Remember, 71 is how many animals the boy saw. And 48 is how many animals the girl saw. Let's do this in expanded form as well. So I'm going to break apart that first number, 71. I'm going to break it apart into 70 plus 1. Now I'm going to break apart the number 48. So I have 40 plus 8. Now I can go ahead and add my two numbers together. Should I start in the tens place or in the ones place? Always the ones place. 1 plus 8 is 9. Then we have 70 plus 40. Well, I know 0, 0, 0. But 7 plus 4, that is 11. So I come down here and I have my answer 11, but I can't leave my 0 hanging. I got to bring it down. So my answer is 110 plus 9. I can just squish that together to get my final answer. Because right here I have a 0 in the ones place, my 9 in the ones place, so when I squish it together, it becomes 119. So how many animals did they see all together? They see 119 animals. All right, go ahead and get out that piece of paper and let's try one together. Here we go. The teacher had 146 pieces of candy. She gave 58 pieces of candy to Sergio. Then she gave 23 pieces to Jaslyn. How many pieces of candy does she have left? Okay, let's figure this out. Let's go back and circle and underline those important parts. So I see that we have 146 pieces of candy. I'm going to go ahead and circle that number. I know that's going to be important. Then she gave 58 pieces of candy to Sergio. Okay, I know that part's going to be important as well. Then she gave 23 pieces to Jaslyn. How many pieces of candy does she have left? So she started with this number, she gave some away, and then she gave some more away. So I know that I'm not going to be able to do this with just a one-step problem. We're going to have to subtract more than once. I know that we're subtracting because of this word left. I know that that means she gave some away. Also, there are some clues in our problem that help us know it's subtraction as well. By saying she gave pieces, right? We know that she's giving things away. So things are being taken away from that bigger number. Where should we start? Well, we need to start with this biggest number. This is that number she started with. So she started with 146. What's the first thing I should subtract? Yeah, that number 58. This is the number 58. That's the first amount of candy that she gave away. So help me solve the problem 146 minus 58. I think we should do this problem with the place value chart. So I'm going to use a different color because why not? And I'm going to quickly draw my hundreds, tens, and ones place to help me solve this subtraction problem. So I see that I have 146. There are 6 ones. 4, 5, 6. How many tens do I need to draw for the number 146? That's right, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last one is our hundreds place, and I see a 1. So I just have 100. Now I'm taking away. So I'm not going to add that number 58 to my place value chart. I got to take it away. So I know I need to take away 8 from my ones place. But I can't because I only have 6. So I need to borrow or move or regroup from the tens column. So I take one of my groups of 10 and I move it over here. If I move a group of 10 into the ones place, how many ones does it become? 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now can I take away 8? Absolutely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when I count up how many I have left, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know I can go ahead and bring that 8 over to my ones column. Now for my tens column, I only have 3 left and it needs me to take away 5. Well, I'm going to need to borrow or regroup or take from my hundreds column. So I'm going to take this group of 100 and I'm going to move it to my tens column. How many tens are in one group of 100? 10. It's always that lucky number 10. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I can take away 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, he's no longer in this group, so I don't need to X him out or count him because he's gone. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we have 88. So when she had 146, she gave 58 of them to Sergio. Now she has 88 pieces of candy. But is that the answer to the question? No. The answer to the question is asking how many pieces of candy she has left after she's given them out to Sergio and Jaslyn. So now I need to take 23 away from 88. So let's solve that subtraction problem right now. So we have 88 pieces of candy right now. She still gave 23 away to Jaslyn. I only need to use a tens and a ones chart for this because there's no hundreds place. I put the number 88, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tens, and 8 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to take away my ones column. I can take away 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. I see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. And I can take away 2 from my tens column. And I see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. So how many pieces of candy does she have left? She has 65 pieces after she gave them away to both Sergio and Jaslyn. All right, nice job. Thanks for doing that along with me. Okay, now, of course, it would not be Math Mania without the challenge question. So have your piece of paper and pencil ready, and I want you to write down the important pieces that you need to be able to solve this week's challenge question. So our challenge question, of course, is about Rosie, my dog. Couldn't be about anyone else. So here we go. I gave Rosie 38 tennis balls on Saturday. On Sunday, Ben gave Rosie 17 more tennis balls. She destroyed 9 tennis balls, which is true. She destroys tennis balls all the time. How many tennis balls does she have left? She was given so many, but then she still destroyed some. So now we don't know how many tennis balls she has left. Let's go ahead and highlight those important parts to help you solve this problem. Well, I gave Rosie 38. So she started with 38 tennis balls. But then Ben gave her 17 more. So she got more tennis balls. When we hear that word more, am I going to be adding or subtracting? I'm going to be adding. So if we think about, to find out how many tennis balls she got from Ben and I, we're going to need to add 17 to 38 to find out how many tennis balls she had. But that's not the answer to our question, because what did Rosie do? She destroyed 9 tennis balls. She does that. So how many tennis balls does she have left? So how are we going to figure this out? Well, we need to not forget that we need to add to find out how many tennis balls she started with. So we're going to be adding 38 plus that 17 that she received on the next day. But the question is, how many does she have left? So that word left is reminding me that I need to subtract. Well, what am I exactly subtracting to find the answer? How many tennis balls did she destroy? 9. So once we add our two numbers together, you can then take this number and subtract it by 9 to find out how many tennis balls Rosie has left. Good luck. I can't wait to hear how many balls she has left because they're all over. All right, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you learned something new. My name is Mrs. Overish, and this is Math Mania.